Welcome to Medical Mondays. I'm Matthew Bulow, aviation attorney over at Ramos Law. Each week, we're going to be breaking down FAA medical guidelines so pilots know exactly what to expect and how to protect their medical certificate. This Medical Monday is going to cover one of the most frequently asked questions, or I guess topics, that I discuss with airmen. And that is, do I need to report minor mental health conditions or episodes or visits with a therapist, counselor to discuss things like generalized anxiety disorder or situational depression or anxiety? And should I be worried that that's going to affect my medical certification? The first answer is yes. You must report mental disorders of any sort under box 18 Mike on the MedXPress application, which includes anxiety, depression, PTSD, OCD, ADHD, and many, many more mental health disorders as they are called. The second answer is also yes. It may affect your eligibility for medical certification. That really depends on the severity of symptoms, efficacy of treatment, current status, and some more stuff. Today, we're going to focus on cases on the mild end of that mental health spectrum. This is often called the anxiety depression fast track, and it allows for immediate issuance of a medical certificate by your AME if certain criteria are met. This pathway is reserved for airmen with 2 or less of the listed mental health conditions. Those include situational anxiety or depression, unspecified anxiety or depression, OCD, PTSD, bereavement, relationship distress, and a few others. It's also worth noting here that treatment with psychotherapy, which is just talk therapy with a counselor or other mental health professional, is an acceptable treatment. So you can be actively receiving talk therapy and psychotherapy and qualify for the fast track and get that medical in your pocket right away. To qualify for the fast track, you must not have treated with an antidepressant medication in the past 2 years, and you must not have ever used more than one mental health medication at a time. That also means that you can't have ever used specific do not issue, do not fly medications like antipsychotics, benzodiazepines, or stimulants. You also can't have a current or previous special issuance for antidepressant medication use unless you were subsequently cleared for general eligibility, and the FAA would have been very specific in their letter. Next, you can't have a history of recurrent episodes or symptoms, which is described as multiple failed attempts to discontinue or stay off medications. And you can't have ever been diagnosed with major depressive disorder, MDD, or persistent depressive disorder, dysthymia. If you meet those initial criteria though, your AME is then going to take you through the decision tool for the AME. If your answer is no to each of the following questions, then your AME will be able to put a medical in your pocket the day of your physical exam, as long as you're otherwise qualified. The decision tool asks 9 questions, and we'll just go through them one by one. Do you have a history of any other mental health diagnoses or symptoms? ADHD, substance misuse, bipolar disorder, and autism are just a few examples that may disqualify you from fast track eligibility. Do you have any history of suicidal or homicidal ideation or self-harm? Do you have any history of involuntary mental health or substance use evaluation or court-ordered treatment? Any history of treatment with ECT, TMS, ketamine, or psychedelic therapy? Any history of mental health hospitalization? That includes for substance use. Any recurrent episodes? Do you have unresolved sequelae or continued symptoms that would interfere with safety-related duties? Any history of either multiple medications used at the same time, at any time, or use of any mental health medications in the last 2 years? Does your AME or any of your providers have any other concerns? If you go through those 9 questions and the answer to each of those is no, then your AME will issue your medical. If any answer is yes, your AME will defer your application to the FAA for further review and possible special issuance. If your application is deferred, it is likely the FAA will request further information. You'll have to provide specific documentation or even undergo further evaluation or maybe even treatment to demonstrate your eligibility. If you're in a position where you may not qualify for the fast track, you may have a more complicated journey to medical certification. We'll be back in other editions of Medical Monday to talk about those cases that don't qualify for the anxiety depression fast track and require more documentation, including those actively treated with antidepressant medication and various other mental health conditions like ADHD and substance use disorders that require unique documentation to demonstrate eligibility. So be sure to tune in. That's all we got for today, folks, on Medical Monday. As always, any questions, comments, drop them down in the comments below, and be sure to tune in next week for another edition of Medical Monday.